Pleasant good morning to all my Facebook friends. This is your friend Clifton David Ryan coming to you live with another episode of CDR Inspiration. And it's indeed a pleasure, it's a privilege, it's a blessing to be alive today, this God-given day that we have. Some of you might have heard over on my personal profile that I said we're going to be talking about the topic of money this morning. Very, very important topic. We're going to be talking about money this morning. And the reason for me wanting to share that topic is because of something that I normally hear a lot of people saying sometimes. And it's right there in the title of this live this morning. I don't need a lot of money. I don't need a lot of money. And it really baffles me sometimes as to why people would say this. If you say it sometimes, ask yourself, why do you say it? If you hear people saying it, ask yourself, why do they say that they don't need a lot of money? I know the topic of money is a very sensitive topic. It's difficult for you to talk about sometimes. Families have struggles talking about money sometimes. Like spouses, they have issues talking about money. Money is always an issue. It's always an issue. And I would like to ask the question this morning, if money was not an issue, let me just put this phone on silent. Okay, good. Yeah, so I'd like to ask that question this morning. If money was not an issue, what are some of the things that you would do that you don't do right now? What are some of the things that you would buy that you don't buy right now? Where are some of the places that you may go that you don't go right now? What is going to be different for you if you just had some more money? This is what I want to talk about this morning, because people say it all the time. They don't need more money. It really I don't know what's the word to use, but it bugs me sometimes. We've just experienced or still experiencing a global situation. This is worldwide that people have experienced loss of job. Loss of job means loss of income. Some who have not lose their jobs, there was still a cut in the amount of days that some persons worked, or they are cutting the amount of hours that some persons worked. So some persons still lose income even though they did not lose their jobs. There were people that were crying out to me also, talking about the situation and how sad it is. Why do people say that they don't need more money? Let me tell you something. As a child growing up, there were several things that I would have liked to buy, I would have liked to have as a child, but would not be able to have it because my parents did not have the money that they needed to be able to take care of that. There were things that I needed also sometimes, and parents just could not have afforded it. A lot of you here could testify to that also. A lot of you could say the very same thing, that as a child growing up, I'm not just talking about once here, I'm not just talking about you see some new toy or some new gadget or some new device or something and you want it. I'm talking about things that you need sometimes and you just can't get it because the money is absent. This is what I'm talking about here. But yet still some people say, once I have a roof over my head and I have food to eat and clothes on my back, I'm good. And just to address that type of mindset, I call that very selfish. I'll probably touch on that a little bit later on also. But you talk about you have clothes on your back, food to eat, and a shelter over your head, and you're good, so you don't need much money. Then you're being very selfish. As a matter of fact, I'll talk about it now. What about other people that don't have something to eat, or doesn't have a shelter over their heads, or doesn't have clothes on their back? What about those persons? No shelter, no food, no clothes. Do you have any desire to help anybody else? Do you have a desire to reach out, to give to charity? Don't you have a desire to do those things? Forgetting yourself for a little bit, even if you have it covered, you are comfortable, even if you are comfortable and you have those different things. I'm just asking this morning because I hear it all the time. I don't need more money. There are so many things that I would like to do as an individual in the area of helping people that even if I have everything covered, I still want more money. And I know even within the Christian community sometimes it's very difficult to talk about money sometimes, and it's like there are so many I've met so many businessmen within our church organization, and I'm really impressed by these men of God. Running successful businesses, having private jets. I've heard of some of these men. I've even met some of these men, and I'm so proud of these men. But there are a group of persons that are in church, and when you ask them sometimes, people on the whole, how you doing? I'm just there, poor, humble, and polite. I don't know. You can't be like that. You can't be like that. That's very difficult for me to say, but you can't be like that. I know. If you're feeling what I'm sharing with you this morning, I want you to drop some comments in the chat there for me also. Just drop some comments there for me, and share your thoughts about this. Share your feelings about this. So, what do you think about money? When you think about money, what do you think about? How does it make you feel when you think about money? Whether it's not having enough to do the things that you need to do. I'm not talking about wants just yet. The things that you need to do and you can't afford to do them because of the lack of money. How does that make you feel as a person? If you have children and they have need of things and they are requesting it of you, and you cannot provide it as you desire to, how does that make you feel? That's what I want to know this morning. Let me tell you guys something. I was listening to a program yesterday, I'd have to call it, with one of our churches in Tobago. And my dad was actually a part of that program. And they were talking about men and how the pandemic has affected men, and specifically talking about loss of income. And it was quite interesting, the conversation, because it's a real situation that affected individuals. Let me tell you something. If you have been affected, it has to be a lesson learned today that it's very important for you to have a supplement income, money that is coming in from an additional source, extra stream of income. It's very important for you to have that. Very important for you to have that. Separate from having an additional stream of income, it's very important for you to have some reserves also. You need to have some income there, some money's there as reserves. People talk about being wealthy, and I think that some people just mess up this whole, when they talk about somebody being rich or somebody being wealthy. For me, let me tell you what I understand wealth to be. If your lifestyle costs you $5,000 a month to maintain, or $10,000 a month to maintain, whatever it is, let's say $10,000 a month. If your lifestyle costs you $10,000 a month to maintain, and you have $120,000 sitting down in an account, then you could consider yourself to be 12 months wealthy. 12 months wealthy. Because you could last 12 months without having to depend on an income coming in from somewhere else. So you can live for 12 months. If you have $240,000 sitting in the bank, well, then you are 2 years wealthy, 24 months wealthy. That's what wealth really is. How wealthy is an individual? it speaks to how long this person could actually live without needing to generate any additional income. How wealthy are you today? And do you need more money? I just thought I'll share these things with you guys this morning because it's a very difficult topic to deal with sometimes. I know some people may not agree with some of the things that I would have said here this morning, but that's quite alright. Whether you agree or not, my desire is to just see people have that financial burden lifted from them. That's my desire this morning. And I know that will come in some cases decreasing the lifestyle that you live that is probably not necessary, and increasing the income that you have. And there are several ways to do it. Find a good one. Find a good one and get to work on it. One of the most important streams of income for me is residual income, which is income that I earn over and over again for a job that I did once. Build something, build a business that will generate for you residual income, so that even when you are not working, I have that experience already in being able to, I'm not physically working, but I'm generating income. I'm on a trip somewhere in Asia, or I'm in Europe, or in the United States of America, or wherever it is that I am. And while I'm there, whether it be on vacation or for work or whatever it is, I'm still generating income. And that is a type of income that you really, really want to look into. So, I appreciate you guys jumping on this morning. A lot of different thoughts about money this morning. But I really pray that it helped you, and that you will share this with someone else also, that they too could benefit from what they would have heard here on this live this morning. Money is a serious issue, people, and we need to address it. So love you guys, appreciate you highly, and looking forward to seeing you next week Monday morning for another episode of CDR Inspiration. Have a great day, guys. Love you all. Bye-bye.